What's up? We still do, fam. It's your favorite couple. We are finally back with another episode of your favorite podcast.
We still do.
It's on you first. You remember how to do this?
Yes, I remember how
Oh,
to do
okay.
this. So before we get into this week's episode, we're going to get caught up on what's going on with us.
So this happened.
So this happened. So this happened. So this happened.
Well, what happened?
All right. So this is what's happened with us in this past month that we missed. It's actually been a lot that's
A
going
lot,
on.
yeah, a lot.
But one of the things that happened that was probably the most important, not probably, but was the most important thing is we had the opportunity to baptize ourselves.
Yeah.
Or baptize each other.
Yeah.
Baptize each other.
Yeah.
So the video is playing, as you guys can see. So she got to baptize me. I got to baptize her. It was a huge blessing to be able to do something like that with my wife.
What did that mean for you?
That you not only almost drowned me, but you took me into the water and brought me out a new man. No, it meant a lot. It really did mean a lot because I actually hadn't been baptized since I was a kid. And
You were baptized when you were a kid?
I was baptized when I was a kid.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, I was baptized when I was a kid. Grandma used to always remind me of that. Like, yeah, you were baptized.
How old were you? Like 2?
I don't know because I don't remember it, but I know I was baptized when I was a kid. And it's just like, as a kid, it's something that's what you do when you're a kid. Like, you know, you get dedicated and then you get baptized when you're a kid. So, you know, when you become an adult or even a teenager, a young adult, it's a decision that's well calculated and thought on. So it's not just like a spare the moment thing like, oh, I want to get baptized. You know, it's something that you really got to think about, especially when you think about what it symbolizes. You know, the old dying coming up out of the water new. So it was huge for me. And then what made it even better was you got to do it.
For me, I got baptized too when I was a kid, but I do remember a little bit of it. I was probably like 7 or 8, but it was one of those things where it was like the whole family got baptized, so I really didn't understand the meaning of it. And once I got older and I did understand the meaning, I never got like I never re-baptized. I'm like, oh, well, I'm baptized, okay, I'm good. But I think being able to get baptized again with the true meaning of it, and like you said, with the understanding and making that conscious decision of why you're doing this, like, I want to die to my old self and come up new, even though we're already Christians. It's like there's always things I feel like that we can be better at and that we can rededicate our lives in certain areas. So I already knew that once I made that decision that I wanted you to baptize me. Like, I already knew that right off the bat. It's like, I want Deontay to baptize me.
I didn't even know.
For you, it was just kind of spare the moment, but for me, I knew right away. Like,
Yeah, it was spare the moment because I was under the assumption that a pastor had to baptize you.
right.
That's why I assumed that your dad, my father-in-law, I was going to say pastor was going to do it, but I thought Pop would do it. And then you were like, no, I want you to do it. I'm like, what? What? Like, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm okay, wait a minute. But that's why mine was spared the moment. Because, like, okay, well, if that's the case, then yeah, I would want you to do it. Because if I would have knew that you could have done it from the start, I would have chose you too.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So, but yeah, knowing what it symbolized and doing it as an adult was huge for me because, like you said, we were already Christians. And I feel like sometimes believers get in this mindset like, I've already been baptized. I've already accepted Christ. You know, even like it just brought this to my attention, like altar calls and service. You know, people feel like sometimes like, oh, I don't need to go to the altar. I've been prayed for. But it's like you can never be prayed for enough. And that's how I feel with the baptism. Like, once is not enough. So it'll probably happen again, and you'll be doing it again. So, but it was a cool experience. And then at the end, with mom and pop saying that to their knowledge, we're the first husband and wife to baptize each other that they know of.
Yeah.
That was pretty big too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I wasn't even thinking of it like that.
Me neither.
Like, I was just like, I don't know. I want Deontay to baptize me. I wasn't thinking like, oh.
And that's where the shirts came from. Hers is bigger than mine. It says, "It's different now," from Transformation Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Shout out to
Pastor
Transformation
Michael Todd.
Church, Pastor Michael Todd. It was Flood Sunday, and that was the reason why we got baptized, because it was a part of the service, and we went through with it. So, with that being said, let's get into this week's episode. Hold up. If you're new to this page, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date with any new content that we post. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit that bell so you can get those notifications as well. Now back to the show. All right. So this week's topic, we are coming back strong. Okay. We've been gone for a month. I've been missing it. We are going in with the topic on our favorite scripture. So I'll start it off.
Okay.
Or did you want to start it off?
Go for it.
I
Let's
feel like
do
you
it.
should start it off.
Why?
Because you ain't started it off in a long time, and we've been off for a month.
Well, that's not my thing. You usually start it off.
Anyways, people, this is what I got to deal with. My favorite scripture, a scripture that I can always tie into my life, the way that I am, and anything that I'm looking forward to doing, is it's the scripture that talks about mustard seed faith. And there's a few different scriptures, but the one that I like the most is found in Matthew 17, verse 20, and it says, "You do not have enough faith." And that's an exclamation, the quotes. What is it? Quotation marks.
Exclamation.
Quotation marks. "You do not have enough faith." Jesus told them, "I tell you the truth, if you had faith even as small as a mustard seed, you could say to this mountain, 'Be moved,' and it would move." And then it says nothing would be impossible. So that's my favorite scripture, because just starting off with it saying faith the size of a mustard seed, and when you look at the size of a mustard seed, it's tiny. And it's like, if you even have this much faith,
Right.
you can say to this mountain, "Be moved." And it's not that in life, you really would tell a mountain to be moved, but with having that much faith, there's so many things that you can do. And I think that is like embedded in me, because it's like, no matter what somebody asks me, I'm always like, yeah, I can do it, no matter what. And I'll keep doing it until I figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's one of the most powerful scriptures in the Bible, because not only is it talking about faith, but there's other scriptures that say we walk by faith and not by sight. So if we walk by faith and you have faith as small as a mustard seed, then anything is possible. And there's other scriptures that I really, really like, but that one right now is still my favorite, what I live by.
Yeah, I just have something to add about that. So, because I do feel like you do walk by faith, you live by faith, you're a faith-based person. And I think that you do that in more of like material or tangible things. And you can probably do it more with like intangible things. Like believing for certain things to happen, or believing for, certain situations to change. Because I feel like when it comes to like intangible things, you're like, well, it is what it is, instead of having that same faith for that tangible thing and you being able to achieve the tangible thing, you should have the same faith for the intangible, like this situation can change.
True.
And I think that your faith is more like for you. You don't like you have faith for yourself and achieving things for yourself. But I think that you can expand that even more for having faith for someone else and someone else's situation, and believing for somebody else's situation to change. Because I do think that you are a faith-based person. Like you have really, really like hard. You're sturdy on the faith part. So, but there's always room for growth in whatever we do and whatever we believe, and however we walk things out. For me, my favorite scripture is Philippians 4:13.
I can do all things.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's like that's my jam right there. Anytime I'm feeling like I can't do something, should I do this? Am I worthy enough to do this? Like, perfect example with my little thing at work on Friday. I was like freaking out, like,
For
oh
5
my
minutes.
God, I'm not even ready. And, and I was just my whole way to work, after you had prayed for me, I'm just.
Did I mention that scripture in the prayer? I felt like I said that.
You felt like you said that?
I felt like I said, like, your
What'd you
word
say?
says that we can do all things. Did I?
You might have said it. I don't know.
Okay.
But that's my favorite scripture. That's like my go-to. And even like on my notes for my presentation, I wrote it at the top of my notes. And I'm huge on affirmations. So I wrote my affirmations on my notes. Like, it's almost like I have to pump myself up. And I feel like when I go to that scripture, it kind of brings me balance. Because I always balance with my confidence. Either I have like too much confidence and it can come off as like conceited and cocky, or I don't have enough confidence in an area. And it's hard for me to like find that balance of just like, no, you are.
I think you should
are.
stick with having the conceited, cocky attitude. So what?
No, I need to find balance.
I'm not finding no
I need-
balance. I don't care.
You
Y'all
need
can
what?
judge me all you want. If I feel like I'm the best, I'm the best.
Okay, but there's nothing wrong with being the best and knowing you're the best. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's still a certain way that you should carry yourself, so
Well,
that
yeah,
you're
yeah,
not
yeah.
putting
You're not walking
others
around
down. Right. And that's what
Yeah.
conceited is.
Okay, yeah, don't do
Conceited
that.
is like, you're walking around like nobody can say anything, nobody can, redirect you, you don't have any room for improvement. You just are all that and you know everything, And I never want to come across as that. And sometimes in certain areas, when I feel like I can come across as that, then I shrink myself. Okay, you're not even worthy to be here right now, So that scripture kind of helps me balance out, because it's like, you know what, your strength doesn't come from you anyways. So whatever strength or whatever courage that you feel like you need in this moment, you need to get it from God, not from yourself. And it kind of balances me out and kind of like brings me back down, but also gives me that boost of confidence that I need.
Yeah, that's probably my second favorite scripture.
Yeah.
And with the sports training on the shirts at the bottom, I put that on there. I can do all things, because that's another thing that ties in with my strong faith. My strong faith is, I truly believe that I can do all things through Christ who
Yeah.
strengthens me. Like,
Yeah.
if he said I can do it, then I can do it. And that's why if somebody asks me to do something, like I said, I'll say yeah, not even like thinking about what it takes to do it. And like the perfect example is like the last few times when we went to Disney World, and for my little sister's graduation, when I was asked to make all those shirts, immediately, yep, I can do it. And didn't even realize, like, oh my God,
You
how
gotta
many
make
shirts?
like 30 shirts.
Yeah, and I'm in here by myself printing and weeding out the stuff and putting it on these shirts, making sure it's perfect. And then being a perfectionist don't help. It ain't like I can just throw it on there, boom.
Right.
It has to be perfect. So But God gives me strength to do it, so might as well do it.
Yeah.
You know, my prayer time and God talking to me, and that's why He gave me that mustard seed, and that's why, you know, I wanted to make shirts. And I was in there designing what I want for that. So, because it's something that's so subtle, but it's so,
So
strong
powerful.
and powerful at the same time. Like, for those who are believers and know about the Bible, when you see mustard seed, you know it's something powerful behind it. You know, so I just feel like that's one of the scriptures that can say so less but means so much. And then what it describes with the mustard seed is so tiny. And it's like when you like just really digest it and break it down.
Yeah.
He's saying if you had even as much faith as a mustard seed,
Yeah.
like
Just a little,
just a
tiny,
little bit.
tiny little bit.
like you
can
don't
move a whole
have
mountain.
none at all. But if you just had this much, you could tell this mountain to be moved. But you ain't even got that much. So imagine having strong faith. The strong faith, like, you know, then you kind of get that cockiness in the Lord, just feeling like I can do this. Like, I'm about to go pick this car up and move it because these people in my parking space. Like, knowing you can't do it, but you just feel like that. Like, you know, and you go out there and you start trying to move it, and next thing you know, the person comes like, I'm about to leave anyway. Like, see, God just wanted to see if you was going to really go and try and do it, but He sent this man out here to move his car anyway. Like, you really thought you was finna do it? Like, okay, that's just absurd right there. But he had that watermelon faith right there, like the size of a watermelon. He said, I'm finna go pick up this car and move it. But that's the way my mind goes. Even people who aren't really too far into, you know, Christianity, they know
Yeah.
about Philippians 4:13.
Yeah.
And I was gonna go with the Romans 1:16. Shout out to the 1:16 click. I got it on my arm right here. You know, so I was gonna what? I got it on my arm.
Okay, we got it. We saw it.
But I was gonna go with that scripture too. I'm not ashamed of the gospel, but I feel like that's another one that's very popular
Yeah.
because of the 1:16 click.
I think that's a huge part of like when you first became a Christian. Because I feel like that's how you were. I mean, you still are, but you know, like when you first became a Christian, you were like, you know, it was like you did a 180. You know, so I think that scripture and just like, yeah, that's just the whole 1:16 click movement and all that was a huge part of like when you first became a Christian. You got it tatted right there, and
I'm down for life.
yeah. So I think that should be on one of your favorites.
Oh, it is.
List. Yeah.
Yeah, that's up there. Romans 1:16 is on there. Philippians 4:13 is on there. And then Matthew. I got this scripture tattooed on me, and I didn't put I know it's in Matthew, but this one says, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry." And then it says, "Well, will never be hungry again, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." I like that scripture too.
Why do you like that scripture?
Because it's God telling us that if we just abide in Him, if we just once again put our faith in Him, that He'll provide for us.
Yeah.
You know, we'll never be hungry, and it's not necessarily just hungry physically. It can be, you know, spiritually, mentally. He's going to feed us what we need, and then as well as our thirst. You know, our thirst for God, our thirst for whatever it is we thirst for, He's going to quench it as long as we abide in Him. So it's like His way of saying, you look no further. You know, you don't need to look, you know, in the world or in social media. You don't need to look nowhere else. Like, everything you need, I got it. You know, He's like that Swiss Army knife with
all the
everything. You need what? Like, He got stuff that you wouldn't even think that you needed that ain't even invented, because that's just who He is. So, you know, that's why I tatted this on me. It's like just a reminder, like, you know, anything that I need, I can go to God and He'll provide it.
I never knew that. I mean, I knew the scripture. I never knew really why you got that scripture.
You
It
thought I was
like
just
he
doing
just wanted
stuff.
to feel. I mean, sometimes you just get crazy with the tattoos and you just start wanting to put stuff everywhere. But I never knew the meaning behind why you got that scripture there. So that's good. That's a good reminder. I like that. I like it now.
Oh my gosh.
Is there anything else that you want to add or you want to say?
I missed this.
I know. I miss this. I miss recording. We gotta be better. We gotta.
It was.
We've just been really
busy.
busy. We've been really, really busy. Our son's been in baseball. We were out of town.
We went to Disney World.
We went to Disney World. We're still recovering from that. But I will say that, you know, it's different now, guys. It is different now. So don't be surprised if you hear us talking about more faith-based things and more, just godly things, because that's kind of like, I feel like where we're focused at.
That's where we're
I mean,
turning.
it's always been our focus. It's the foundation of our marriage. But I feel like, just with us, I don't know, being rebaptized, and our focus is a little bit different now.
At the same time, too, though, it's like we've already discussed as far as all the things that we've gone through in marriage and how we've overcome it. We've shared it. I mean, it's not. Y'all want us to do a part 2 of them, or I mean, like just go back and watch the other episodes. Like now, okay, we've started off, all these episodes on everything we've gone through, from finances to cheating to growing apart, everything. We've talked about it. So it's like, okay, now it's time to turn that corner. And, God was the one who gave this to us anyway.
Right.
So now it's time to start honoring Him and giving it to Him, and, start bringing in some lost souls. Like, we can use this to, get our message across and bring in some people,
Yeah.
that would be perfectly fine with me to have somebody say, oh, this podcast got me thinking about becoming a Christian. I'll take it.
Yeah. Me too.
All right. So that's a wrap for us, guys, on our first episode, coming back after a month hiatus.
And we try to be more consistent with our Instagram. We probably post more updates on our Instagram than we do actually on our YouTube. So make sure you guys follow us at we_still_D0. We even are starting to post more of our kids. Like, we've been posting our son in baseball because he is killing it. His first year in baseball. They're about to go to the World Series. So, there's that. And this is the coach. So kudos to him.
Of course.
But yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got. So with that being said, I'm Deontay.
And I'm Maymuna.
And we still do.